So, thank you so much for your support on my last two videos. I really, really appreciate it. I'm so glad you're enjoying the Reddit series. I was going to do Am I the Arsehole, but I can't find any good posts. So, today we're doing entitled siblings, because why the fuck not? Like I said in my previous video, I still have an entitled parents story that's really, really, really long. So, if you want to see that, we will get to that. My Karen of a sister, yes, is still at it. This morning, she, 48, sat on the toilet playing games on her phone. I asked her several times to get a move on, as I, 45 male, was due at dialysis at 7 a.m. She grumbled, but finally went to have her breakfast at 6:40. I had a very quick shower, etc., got ready, and with around 5 minutes to get to the clinic, she demanded I put the wheelie bin out, and that after treatment, I'm to go shopping for her to save her having to order her plasters. She gets the small round ones to stop bleeding after testing her blood sugar. Not wanting to be late, I agreed and left. Was late by 10 minutes, did the shopping, etc. after treatment, and due to the blowback dialysis causes, I was laid down recovering from the pain and exhaustion. She comes in from work, complains the plasters are the wrong sort, and then grumbled she will have to order them anyway. Grateful. Then she bitches about work issues as she does every day for an hour, and as ever, it's the same shit she always moans about. Yeah, I mean, it's the same shit everyone moans about work, let's be honest. She then says to come down at 7 p.m. as she will start dinner. I come down and get a drink, and she turns around from her Minecraft world. Go on then, cook dinner. I decided I don't want to cook. Just the end of another week dealing with her. Why are you dealing with your fucking sister like that? Move out and let her deal with herself. Or don't get me wrong, I have family members that have lived together like their whole life. I've never personally understood it. I've always been a person that wanted my own place and my own independence. I'm a registered nurse, and I know very well after dialysis you need to go home and rest, not go shopping for your sister's food and plasters. Listen to her complaining about her job, then cook dinner for her because she doesn't feel like it. And she acts like she's paralysed from neck down. You've got to say no to her no matter how she reacts. You said in another post that you share a house. Is it hers, yours, or both? As in your parents willed it to you, or you bought it together. Your sister complains about her job every night. Well, she either get a new job or stop complaining, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Oh, am I the asshole if I don't trust my older sister who's 11 years older than me? Already I can probably say no. I also don't trust family members. Okay, so when I was in primary school, I'm an Aussie by the way, we were on holiday at Great Nan's house in the Gold Coast, being like maybe a 9-year-old and my youngest sibling being mostly the same age, wanted to go to the beach. I couldn't and still can't swim well. My mum asked my older sister to look after me in the water. She said she would, but she told me to stay where I was in the water when she started to hang out with her boyfriend in the deeper end, me being like 7 to 9. I did not listen. I almost drowned, and I would have if my dad didn't save me till this day. I still don't trust her with me, even though I'm a 12-year-old female. There's like no commas or full stops in this. This is really hard to read because it's literally just a long run-on sentence, but I'm trying. I'm 12-year-old female. She also texted me at 3 a.m. once trying to make me dislike our mum. My mum and sis have been fighting. A 22-year-old talking to a minor at 3 a.m. So am I the asshole? Please tell me. Okay, here's what I think. Commenter. For the first example you gave, I think that you are both at fault. You were told to stay put so you wouldn't drown. You didn't listen. Fair. She was told to watch you while your parents had some time to themselves. She didn't listen. You are both arseholes in this situation. Yes, but also she's 11 years older and he's like 9. That means she would have been 20 and she almost let her brother drown. There's a reason why you watch kids, right? Had your dad not been there, you would have been dead due to her negligence and your inability to listen. That's harsh and I'm sorry, but it needs to be said. With all that being said, you aren't the asshole for not trusting her, not in my opinion at least. Yeah, I think you're a fucking kid. Like, there's a reason why you don't leave children to their own devices. I will never forget being on holiday with, I think I was with my mum, my sister, and I was just enjoying like standing in the water, having the waves like wash over me sort of thing. And I was slowly making my way out further and further and further to the point that it was like probably up to my neck. At any moment I could have probably been pulled out to sea, but I was just enjoying like the waves washing over me. And I will never forget my mum like running up to the edge of the beach and screaming my name and telling me to come in because I was so far out. And it was only when I turned around I realised how fucking far I was out, and I felt quite embarrassed, and I went back and I laid down and I like didn't go back into the water for a while. There is a reason why you should keep your eye on children, because children don't know any better. They're naive. I can't remember how old I was, by the way. I think I was maybe like 11 or 12. Children do stupid shit. Okay, a lot of these seem like childish things, I'm struggling for Reddit stories today. Okay, entitled sister ruins my life. So, for some backstory, my sister has always been entitled. I had some special medication when I was younger and I made the mistake of taking it in front of her. She thought that since I could take it, it would be safe for her too. So down goes the pill and out comes the sickness. When she admitted to taking my medication, my parents were okay with it and basically ruled out it as an accident. After an incident happened at my graduation, I had a small party with me and my friend, and we invited only our families. My sister decided it was okay to invite about 15 of her friends without asking. She's the main character in her life. Yeah, got it. They then proceeded to wreck the party and its venue and complained about how we chose a bad place to have a party and how we should have invited them and how we should be better people.
Really?
They're not your friends. They weren't invited. Fucking entitlement. Then about 3 months ago, me and my husband got married. We were a happy couple with a baby on the way. My sister then came to me and said, we need to talk. I thought she would try and bring up a petty thing that happened years ago and say she was hurt or concerned by my behaviour. Boy, was I wrong. She said that my husband always was being creepy around her and that she feels uncomfortable around him. She insisted a lot that I divorce my husband as I'm her sister and she knows I want what is best for her. I went ballistic on how she had ruined everything in my life and that she can't always have her way and how the world doesn't revolve around her. She broke down into tears saying I was a bitch to her all her life. Fucking pot kettle. And how I should be dead. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. She then proceeded to smash pictures of me and my husband around my flat saying, die, you son of a bitch. I was starstruck is the wrong word, and ordered her to get out of my house. I later got a call from my parents saying that my sister told them I hit her and screamed profanities at her. Okay, I was like, there could be a legitimate reason why she feels funny about your husband, because sometimes these things, they are legitimate, but it's hard to know genuinely because you've had so many problems in the past, so I understand that. But she has to take some responsibility for the fact the reason you may not be believed by the person you bullied or had altercations with in the past is because of your past. I'm actually doing this course at the moment, and one of the things that they teach you is that you have to break your beliefs. Like, for example, if you have a person that, take an ex-boyfriend that you've taken back once, for example, they come back again and they say, oh, things are going to be different this time, da, 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 da. Your past experience with them that's happened over and over and over again is going to become a belief system that, for example, they're just going to cheat on you again, or they're just going to lie to you again, or it becomes a belief system. And the only way to change that automatic response is to change the belief. Now, that's not always going to work in all situations, obviously, but I've had that with, for example, I had a colleague that I was like, oh, they're always just going to make mistakes because in the past I've always seen them constantly make mistakes. So I had a belief system that I couldn't trust them, where I needed to change that to change the outcome so that they would grow and so that I could grow too. It's stuff like that where for a moment I was like, okay, I don't like to ever assume that someone's lying about something that makes them uncomfortable. It could be something happened that she wasn't yet comfortable to tell you about. But the fact that she automatically just went and completely lied and said the sibling hit her and screamed profanities at her, and if that was not the case, then she is literally the kid who cried wolf. It's kind of her own fault that people don't believe her. I told them what happened with photographic evidence. They apologised and they and my sister haven't talked to me since. You should have also told your mother that she called her a bitch. Did she? I don't remember that part. Okay, I'm really struggling with these ones today. This is not the Reddit thing that I was hoping for. So, I was exercising yesterday and I was scrolling through Twitter while I was on my walking pad. I couldn't believe what I found. I'm going to read this one and I guarantee it's going to get me heated because I was getting pissed off reading the first two sentences while I was on the walking pad. So, this is from a Twitter account called Ask Aubrey that I follow, and it's similar things, like similar stories. The story is called Scotland Divorce. Can I go after my ex-wife's daughter's income? Now already, what the fuck? But let's continue. I haven't read this whole story. Like I said, I just read the first bit and then realised this is going to be gold. We need to read this here. My wife and I are separating due to whatever, difference. It appears it's going to be a clean split on the finances. I'm buying her out of her half of the house. Remember that. So he wants to buy her out half of the house, so therefore it's going to be completely his house. Alright? So that means the wife is having to move out of the house. My main issue is that my wife has moved out to stay with her daughter now, which leaves me to cover all the household bills, etc. Well, no shit. That's what happens when you own a house. It is your responsibility. I earn 80,000 a year, so it won't be an issue. Then why the fuck do you give a shit? Why are you even considering this if you can afford it? But up till now, we had always split bills 50-50. Can you see where this is going? Literally, he says, so I have grown accustomed to a certain standard of living. So fucking sell the house and buy a different house that's smaller and more affordable then. If you've come accustomed to a standard of living, get a roommate or sell the fucking house and downsize to something that's more affordable for just you. And you can still have the fucking standard of living. But what is likely going to come from what was said in the first sentence of this? The fact he just says out loud that he's become accustomed. Like, my wife is only on a minimum part-time wage, so I don't think I would be able to go after her salaried income. So she was on a minimum part-time wage, he was on 80k a year, and they split the bills 50-50.
Bombastic side eye.
So she would have had no money to herself. However, now she lives with her daughter, who is quite well off. Well, that just means her daughter has done well for herself. That's what you want for your children. She has very little outgoing expenses other than food, phone bill and car payments. What about the fucking place that she's living? How do you know what her outgoing expenses are? She could be putting money in her pension. She could be saving money to buy her own house. She could be paying a shitload of money to rent. It could be a lot more expensive than you're aware of. I will never forget when I moved out and everyone said to me like, oh, you don't realise how expensive it's going to be. Like, you've got council tax and you've got water bill and this bill and that bill. And I'm like, yeah, no, I know. I was paying and helping to pay because my mum was made redundant. I was helping to pay all of those bills since I've been 18. I know what bills go out. You don't have to tell me. So condescending.
Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Anyway, she has very little outgoings, as I'm assuming her daughter will be paying my wife's way. So once the dust has settled here, I'm going to be spending more every month and she will be spending less. Is there any recourse for going after my stepdaughters as well, don't forget, stepdaughter's income, since it will be being spent on my wife? So would that count as income for my wife?
Stop it. Get some help.
If her daughter is kind enough to help her get her mum back on her feet, where in the fuck do you think you can get off to try and get any of that money because her daughter's spending money on her? What the fuck? Like, how does that even enter your mind? Let's see some comments on this, shall we? Can't imagine why she left this gem. Yeah, seriously. So his ex makes a fraction of what he does, but they used to split bills 50-50. She should be going after him for support. His wife is on minimum part-time wage and he made her split half the bills, despite admitting he can easily afford them alone. No wonder she left him. She likely has no money saved up to. Yeah, it's very true. Such a good point. It's like, my ex-wife has no income and needs to use the food bank. Can I go after the food bank because they are essentially giving money to my ex? That's literally where this guy's coming from. As part of the divorce agreement, he should be fired into the sun. Men don't need women. Men are the providers. The OP is pathetic. Pay your bills, dude. Even if it was his own daughter, no judge will account for a family helping family while they're going through a divorce. Literally, where does this man get the audacity? How are you not embarrassed? She has grown accustomed to a certain standing of living with the income disparity between them, and depending on how long they were married, she would be entitled to spousal support here in the States. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck he thinks he's entitled to her income. Ha! Yeah, he should totally go for it. It would help the judge understand the wife's side of the case. Absolute joke. Anyway, I might do more of those Ask Aubrey ones. They post daily, so I could have quite a lot to react to. And I hardly go on my Twitter, so let's be honest, I probably would hardly ever read any of them. But anyway, if you like this video, make sure to give us a like and subscribe if you like it. I'm sorry that the start was a little bit here and there. I thought entitled siblings, there would be loads of them because I've had my own entitled sibling that I've had to deal with. So, you know, I thought there'd be more to react to, but there wasn't. And there was hardly any comments. I was trying to find Reddit posts with a bunch of comments because obviously those would be the juiciest stories. But there was just like 1 or 2 comments on the majority of these stories, so I'm really sorry. This one may have been a little bit of a miss. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I hope to see you in the next one.